Go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business, as we call the meeting to order, is to approve the minutes from February 24th, 2020, regular meeting and bills and payroll through March 25th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, district reports. Renovation report, Mr. Adams.
You on there, Mr. Adams?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What I'll go through real quick is we started, they put up started with the steel work today. They also started putting in door hardware at the high school. And started doing some flooring, I think at WR Super Elementary and Highlands. So the project's moving along. I know Alliance, their company, has decided to go to 410s. And then they've got some people that because of everything that's going on out there right now, don't want to get out. So it may slow down here in a couple of weeks, depending on what happens as far as their workers are concerned. But right now, everything's moving right along with the project. I'm going to jump into these. I guess, do we need to do them one at a time, or can we talk about all of them and then vote on it? How do you want to do this?
All together?
Okay. The first change order is the security fence at Central Elementary. I've been in contact with Patrick from Sherman Carter and Alliance as well. The quote that we have on the fence over there at Central Elementary comes in at a little under $30 a square foot. A year ago, I went back and found a quote that I had Road Fence do a year ago for me before we ever decided to go into this project. And he priced me 570 square feet of fence that was 6 foot tall, but it didn't have it only had the top rail, didn't have the bottom rail. It was a smaller gauge fence, and it was a smaller, the line post and the corner posts were all smaller in the price, and his price come in at right around $12,000. I'm sorry. Did I say under 30? I meant under 40. I'm sorry. It's $39 a square foot. I'm sorry. Look at the wrong sheet. But what this is, it's a bigger gauge line post. It's a bigger gauge corner post. It also includes a gate. That $12,000 price did not include a gate. And again, in talking with Patrick and Sherman Carter, they feel like this is a fair price. Again, that's up you guys. It's up to whatever you guys. I feel like that at this point, based on what I'm getting, the one from Rose is a little old. It's right at a year old. So I feel like that overhead doors who came in with this quote is a fair quote. The other two change orders, 3 and 4, are the change order 3 is just for some days. Basically, it's weather days that they have asked for. They've asked for 3 additional weather days. They still feel like unless the coronavirus just shuts them down completely, that they are going to be finished on time with this project and will not need these days. But based on some of the weather that we've got, they'd like to go ahead and ask to have these days for just security purposes, and I'm in agreement with them on that. Change order number 4 is basically whenever they did the soil prep down there, I think that they estimated it to be about $73,000. It came in at $35,000, so that change order is actually cheaper than what we originally thought it was going to be. So the bottom price came in at $35,233.55, which is much less than what we already had. So again, those are the 3 change orders that I recommend, and it's up, again, it's up to you. I know there was a question on the fencing, but based on the information that I tried to dig through the last couple of days, I do think it's a fair price. It is covering 625 square feet of fence, a big 625 square feet of fencing, and it does have a gate. And the gate itself was about $1,200. So that's again, that's up to you guys.
And that's,
So-
Mr. Adams, that's something that we didn't have in our original bid. It wasn't in our original deal to have that fencing. But we know that we talked about the time I was principal over there, that we need that for safety to keep our kids out of the road and anybody from coming from the road to the playground area.
Yes, sir. And looking at the campuses the last months, Central Elementary is one of the campuses that is really hard to try to lock down traffic over there. By putting this gate in the place that we've asked them to put it in, will lock down the traffic from being able to drive behind that building and hide behind that building. So I think for safety purposes, it's a must. It really is. And again, I think it just helps us in the long run. The fence itself is vital over there, as it keeps these kids off the street during school time for that little community over there. And I know there's not a lot of traffic, but again, they're darting in and out, and it just takes one quick distance. So that's important fact that. Do you all want to vote on these change orders before we go on, or do you want me to go on?
Go ahead and vote on them. So
Okay.
we get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion's been made. Second. Any discussion?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Dollars and cents, amount of money, change orders.
I can't, I'm sorry, you're breaking up on me, I can't hear you, I just caught bits and pieces of it.
He wanted to know what the total amount of the change orders come to.
Oh, the total amount, well, the fence number is going to be, hang on just a second, is going to be,
24,689.
24,689, and then you actually got, it actually was supposed to pay out $73,435.95 for the soil prep down at the high school in the ACT, and instead you only had to pay $35. So technically there's a savings, and there's not, but the 35 and the 24 is going to be right at $70,000.
60,000.
$60,000, I'm sorry.
That answer your question? All right, thank you. Motion's made and second. No further discussion. Call for a vote, please. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Adams.
You got Sherman Carter on there for $2,072.81. Again, this is just part of the construction work that they're doing, and I do suggest that we go ahead and make that payment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Before we do BD1, let's go ahead and make the other payment to the vendors, $75,000. Again, this gets us caught back up to date, gets us right on time with the vendors that's going on with the ACT and the security project. So I do recommend that we make that payment of $75,903.53.
We'll go ahead and do that, and then we're going to jump back to item B. Is there a motion to approve the $75,903?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The BG1 that we're asking you to go ahead and approve tonight is basically the property on the farm. Even though we have a temporary letter and we've all made agreements, we can't do anything until there's a motion for the BG1 and you all sign it for me to be able to turn it into the KDE to get the final approval on, so that we can go ahead and make this purchase. So I do recommend that you give me an approval for the BG1 and get it signed, so that I can get it entered into the computer, get it sent into KDE for final approval on that.
All All right, is there a motion to approve BG1?
So made.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. What'd you say? Yeah. So now we're going to jump up to item B, Tim.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip the lines? I guess they do want payment. Alliance, this does bring us up to date with the project. I'm sorry about that. I do recommend that we pay Alliance. We actually, they missed the timeline. The reason this one's a little higher, they missed the timeline, and we didn't pay them last month because they didn't get their stuff into us on time. So, but this gets us caught up to date and brings us to par on with the project. So I do recommend that we make this payment as well.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve payment to Alliance?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? If there be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item we have is the adoption of the summary evaluation of the superintendent. Everybody's had a chance to go through that. Can we go ahead and get a motion to adopt?
So made.
Second? Motion's made and second. Any discussion? There'll be none. We'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item under old business, Mr. Cochran.
Last month, Mr. Eastek presented what come out of the committee, the calendar committee, for the adoption of the 2021 calendar and the 21-22 proposed calendar. If you remember, that had to have 2 readings. Last time was first, so we need to adopt that calendar. There were no changes or no recommendations for changes made. So adopt the calendar as presented last month.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the calendar as presented?
So moved.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on new business, Mr. Cochran.
We're asking the board to approve the MOU with the continuation of our partnership with Operation Unite's AmeriCorps program. All 5 of our elementary schools currently benefit from a staff member from AmeriCorps. They do provide math tutoring for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders and drug education for 4th and 5th graders. It's a very good benefit to our district and to our kids. We ask that we continue that.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second?
I second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5B, Mr. Cochran.
In your board packet, there are 2, there's a renewal for student accident insurance. I recommend that we do renew that insurance for the 2021 school year.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 5C.
We're asking that the board approves our continued memorandum of agreement with Big Sandy Community Technical to continue the dual credit offerings for our students so they can earn high school and college credit at the same time. It's a big benefit for our kids.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, student trips, Mr. Cochran.
Right now, you all are aware that we're on a no trip, we're on trip stoppage, and we don't really anticipate anything to change with that. But we had a couple of baseball trips and a couple of softball trips that we want to get approved just in case we got back to school and in case say lifted the ban on sports and we could start traveling. Baseball April 10th and 11th to Lexington, softball the 24th and 25th to Versailles, and softball May 8th and 9th to Lexington. Again, we don't anticipate that happening, but thought they may reschedule, be able to go if something happens down the road.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I so moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? There be none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Cochran.
The School District 50/50 Committee, which is made up of an equal number of school administrators and teachers, met on March the 10th to reflect any changes for the certified evaluation plan. And so those changes, if approved, will be effective for principals, assistant principals beginning the 2021 school year. And they are based on the standards for principal, assistant principal, which is formerly the principal standards, and now the P-cells. Also, approved by the committee was language that supports our new and entry year induction guidance process that now replaces KTIP in our district. Our process complies with the guidance of the CEP. So I'm asking for you to approve that for next year. And if you have any questions, Ms. Music is online too to help answer any questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we're going to need to appoint a board member to the local evaluation appeals panel.
Actually, that need you all to appoint a certified teacher for that evaluation.
Thank you.
Appeals panel. That's something that's new with legislation, and basically you all appoint one, that certified staff appoint, they vote on two, and then there's a 3-member panel.
Thank you.
Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Thanks for the clarification.
I'd like to appoint Joseph Bolden,
Joseph? Okay.
to that position.
Is there a second to that?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Cochran.
In your file, there is one bid for blacktop, so recommend the R&L based on the lowest price bid.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5H, Mr. Cochran.
There is a renewal for banking services. We recommend that we renew with Citizens Bank for the 2021 school year.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Is there a
Is that the only
second?
bid we had?
We didn't bid it this year, it's renewed this year,
Okay.
we bid it last year.
Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Cochran.
We're asking the board to approve an agreement with the University of Nebraska at Kearney School Psychology for an intern. There is a student who is attending school there and going into school psychology, who is a former student of Johnson County Schools. And I think it would be a great opportunity for her as well as for our school system to provide that internship possibility for the next school year. As she finishes her school, and she would be under the guidance of an existing school psychologist of Johnson County Schools.
Very good. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? There'll be none. We'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item J, Mr. Cochran.
Okay, this relates back to item 3D with the BG1. You all approved back in November, I do believe, the purchase of the farm property from the Mayo heirs. We've been in the process of getting that finished since that time. It's been a pretty lengthy process working with KDE, and now it's going to be a little bit longer because KDE's minimum staff there, plus the fact that we're waiting on a title search, and the attorney's doing the title search, can't get that completed because the clerk's office is closed. So the Mayo heirs are concerned, even though we're not in school right now, of their liability, and they've asked that if we can approve a prorated lease on that property, and that will be applied to final purchase price once all the paperwork's in, just to cover them liability, the same as last year, but it'll be applied to the final purchase price once that's complete.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the prorated lease?
So made.
Second? Motion's made and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You also have the superintendent's personnel report in front of you. I'd like to say this has been a first for Johnson County School System, this type of meeting. And it's gone well, and I'm glad we have the capability. So thank you to all those that made this possible. And if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all, and please be safe.